One of the biggest races when it comes to GLSR racing has come to life, and that is the Brickyard. This 2.5-mile rectangular oval, of course, is the home for not only the Indy 500, the Brickyard 400 coming back in 2024 for NASCAR, but also it is home for GLSR and the Brickyard 200, and that is where we are tonight. It's round number 8 of the GLSR Premier Series presented by Down Home Transport. We appreciate everybody joining us this evening. I am the captain, and appreciate everybody's patience as I am recuperating from the cold that I've had for a little over a week now. This is the best I've sounded in a while, but we're good to go, ready to rock and roll. And as soon as I got to a point where I could do it, we're going to do it, and we're going to get this race on and have some fun here on this evening of 200 miles racing coming up here in just a few moments. Qualifying is about to get started here in a moment, but the big story as we get into race number 8 tonight is the fact that we have 7 races down and 7 different winners. Yes, it sounds like season 5 all over again with the truck series, except this is only season 2 of the Premier Series. And this is what we got. The 7 winners with the checkered flags on them: Fontaine, Miles, Alphin, Ingram, Ladisseur, Maciejewski, Sutphin. Those 7 drivers, they are automatically in the playoffs, as this season is the first ever win and get in season for GLSR. Now, here's how this is going to work out the rest of the way. We got 3 races left going into this race. If we get a repeat winner anytime throughout the season, that opens up 3 wild card spots for the playoffs. Right now, Peyton Johnson, Sean Peachin are the only 2 wild card spots in because of the amount of races we've run. 7 races, 7 winners. We get an 8th new winner. Obviously, it pushes the grid down every single time. If we get a repeat winner, then it opens the door up. Right now, Lucas Gortman looking pretty good on points to be a potential wild card person to get in. But every new winner, somebody like Sean Peachin, Peyton Johnson, Diego Sainz, who's right there in 10th. Those guys slide down the board and are on the border to potentially not making the playoffs. So you look down at Jason Dalton, Tyler Pluff, Lucas Strayer, Josh Gagnon. Those guys need a little help. Gagnon, especially down here, 37 points back. That's almost a race, if not over a race now behind. He's going to need to get up there to the top 12 in points as we enter tonight. You see all the stats right now. Gortman leads the overall points. Fontaine with 2 poles so far. KJD2, the team leaders right now. And, of course, Telder, the season most laps led. Of course, he did all of that at one race at Bristol. But take none the least, because obviously that's a stat that's pretty important right there, leading the most laps here so far in this season. So again, 2.5-mile rectangular race that does not usually see a repeat winner. And that's something that is always very common in this series, is you never see repeat winners at tracks. And, when you think of Fontaine maybe on a road course or something like that, that's a rarity. When you see the name like Chris Evans at Talladega, a rarity. You don't get many of the same winners at the same tracks back-to-back years or multiple years. So we'll see tonight if we can do another new winner tonight here at the Brickyard, or will we see somebody who has gone to victory lane here tonight go again in the 200-mile race. So qualifying is going to start here in 20 laps, or in 20 seconds. The usual 2 minutes, or 2 laps and 5 minutes of qualifying. I'll get the format right sooner or later here. But tonight's race, presented by PRG Gear. Of course, they're the presenters of the Rookie of the Year standings and more. So big shout out to those guys, as they've been putting up a lot here the last few weeks and so on and so forth. And appreciate all their hard work, of course, in taking care of the series. That's not what I was looking for. This is what I was looking for. There's the schedule the rest of the way. Next week, we go to Rockingham on Wednesday night. Then it's Michigan before we hit the All-Star race right before Christmas weekend. And then into the new year at the playoffs. Texas, Dover, Gateway, Homestead. It'll be the first time in a couple seasons that you will not see a playoff race that has a road course on it. So I think that's going to play another interesting trick when this thing is all said and done. All right, qualifying underway here. Of course, you have to go all the way around to the back straightaway here. They'll cross this little blue line right there, and that'll allow them on the track to get out and run their 2 laps. This track big enough you can get up to speed easily, and your first lap going to be the fastest. This is the actual newer layout of Indianapolis on iRacing, which is actually made for the Indy cars. They haven't really updated the NASCAR car to it to a point. I mean, they got the setups and everything there. But obviously they've put the road course, they've updated that, and so on and so forth. Or maybe they have put the NASCAR. Oh, no, that's the IndyCar pit entrance right there. So yeah, they have not put the NASCAR pit entrance on this IndyCar update yet for this track. So that is one thing that's a little different. The other thing that's going to be different is the cameras tonight. I do not have an updated pack for this specific track. I do have Indianapolis, but not the new layout. And basically, when you put a new layout on iRacing, it's almost like building a new layer. So all my cameras are pretty much underground or just off mark and off kilter and everything. All right, watching the 62, Kermit Gortman here in the 62, the points leader, the overall points leader. Having a fantastic season in his Camaro. And right now he's got the purple lap, but that's because he's going to be the first one. I make that up, as Shane Matthews actually is the first one. 53.44 for Dean as he crosses the line. And others. Bryson, Matthews, there's a lot of sore. Sutphin, Peachin, and Tanyan and Richard Midkiff crossing the line right now. Let's see who else is out there. Dalton Carter, who was pretty fast in practice. Look at Diego Sainz. He just put a lap down, 53.14. Brandon Alford, 53.19, and that, I don't even know what the hell that is. Dalton in that chrome and red number 2. Cross the line at 4th, 53.23, so pretty close lap times here. Bryson up to 7th, a lot of sore 9th. See who else hasn't crossed the line here. There's Lucas Strayer, who we learned this week through Spotify has played Freebird the most in his lineup this year. Those who are shocked on this list are 0. Telder goes to 6, 53.34. I do not see the 41 anywhere on this list. And on comes the Ric Flair drip. Let's turn the audio on the cars, why don't we? Miles, pretty good turn 3 and 4, or at least 3 into turn 4 here. See if we can apex down to the bottom there. Keep that left front off those rumble strips. Maybe a little tight off 4, but not a bad lap, it looks like. Strayer places 12th. Miles, 3rd, 53.19. I wonder if turn 4 might have hurt him a little bit there. It looked like he just got slightly tight. Looked like the car just kind of slid a little bit there off the corner. And it looks like one car. One car left to qualify, and that's going to be Tyler Pluff. Jason Stewart, Jacob Clayton, and Cam Ingram not going to run qualifying laps, it looks like here. Oh, boy. No, that's never good. Into the outside wall goes Hildebrand. And anyways, that's going to end qualifying. So Diego Sainz will get the pole award here this evening. Congratulations to him. As the field will form up. At the yard of bricks, and you see the cars lining up. Let's take a look at the starting lineup here for the Brickyard 200, Diego Sainz, 53-14 will start on the pole alongside Brandon Alphin, who looks to get himself an Indianapolis win, usually pretty good at this track. Stephen Miles, Sam Fontaine in row number 2. Row 3, Jason Dalton, Lucas Gortman. Matt Telder going to start there in row number 4 alongside Alex Bryson, Ladine Machine, and Shane Matthews in row 5. Joey Ladisor, Lucas Strayer in row 6. Jacob Thornton, Josh Gann in row 7. Peyton Johnson, who's having a pretty career year, I would say, is up there in 15th alongside Brian Sutphin. Brandon Maciejewski and Tyler Brewer, row 9. Row 10, Sean Peachin, who usually is pretty good at this track, but I've been told he is racing from a relative's house and not on his actual computer, so rumor has it he might actually be like on a Game Boy or something right now racing. Let's see, Dalton Carter there in 20th. Devin Ramsey, Cedric Ingram in row 11. Row 12, Tandy Sutphin and Richard Midkiff. Row 13 is Lucas Simonson and Ben Pierce. Tyler Pluff, Cam Ingram in row 14. Row 15, Jacob Clayton and Jason Stewart in the 30th position. As the cars will roll off here momentarily. Of course, this is the second season of these cars here at the Brickyard. It's been the trucks, obviously, the first 9 seasons, and then this is now season 2 of the Downrange Transport Premier Series. And Stephen Miles went to victory lane last season. And if he can do it tonight, he'll be the first repeat winner, and I want to say the first repeat winner in series history at this track. Just going off memory, but of course, a lot of good seasons of racing here. This used to be the race that set the Final Four for the playoffs. And they decided to move this up into the schedule a little bit. But either way, it is the Brickyard, and you can't take anything away from it. A track built in 1909, raced first time in 1911. Ray Haroon took that car to victory lane. "112 years later, we're still here at the Brickyard, and we're doing it on iRacing, on a simulator, in GLSR, going racing here at the Brickyard right now. Green flag. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. Signs with the early lead as everybody pretty much getting single file for the most part. Trying to jockey for position, get what you can here early. As it gets tough to pass the later you get into this run. A lot of Sewer back there with Shane Matthews side by side. And 11 of Thornton also there with him. Lap 1 in the books already. Peyton Johnson back here under attack. Josh Gagnon trying to get some early positions there. You see Lucas Strayer. Now, the one thing about this track is it's going to get very interesting when it comes to the grooves. You're going to see the track move up a little bit. You don't be surprised to see some cars make some moves on the outside lane. turn my audio down. Forgive me for a second. I always try to keep my audio down so that you don't hear an echo going into my microphone. We watch Peyton Johnson, Lucas Strayer going at it here. 13th, 14th, all in this battle right here. Strayer throwing a little defensive move on Gagnon there. Strayer protecting that bottom, doing everything he can, obviously, to keep Gagnon from getting underneath him. Probably the toughest corner out of the four right there. Turn 2 at Indianapolis, for some reason, has always thrown me for a loop. Something about this track where you have 4 corners of all the same size, or all the same 90 degrees, 12 degrees of banking, and yet they all drive different. Figure that one out. Stephen Miles going to the front. As Ric Flair becomes the second leader. Woo. Sorry, I can't woo with this voice. Miles, of course, the winner of Chicagoland a couple weeks ago, so he's looking to try to be that first repeat winner. Brandon Alphin, who's always been good here at Indianapolis. Jason Dalton. Right there, your top 4 of single file. To be honest with you, Devin, I really haven't done much different to it, but thank you. Everybody pretty much single file for the most part. Just kind of logging laps, so you see the 88 kind of sliding up the track. Telder under attack here as inside goes his teammate Gortman. Oh, Kermit to the position number 6, I think, 7, something like that. Well, I've got some things in the works. I just tried something different tonight since this is not technically Any feedback, I always appreciate. If anybody tells me stuff, I listen. Alex Bryson, 9th position here. As we continue to watch Peyton Johnson try to get underneath Shane here. Well, it looks like Peyton maybe got loose. Here comes Strayer inside along with Gagnon looking. Peyton's probably not going to give this up. Traditional Brickyard, you give that up, but you can fight this outside a little bit. One car eating the wall back there. That might be Peachin back there. Uh-oh. Jason Stewart, we've lost Stewart as he's towed to the pits. Right side and left side torn up. What happened to J Stu? Something has broke on Stewart's car. And according to my reports, it's traction. And he did not tow back to pit road, so we stay green. Or he did tow back, but no caution. Let's go back here. Cedric Ingram, the Daytona winner. Sean Peachin, the 9 to Devin Ramsey. 39 there, Tyler Pluff, one of the guys right there on the bubble when it comes to the playoffs. And look at all of a sudden this became a gaggle as Maciejewski falls into this battle. I'm sorry, Maciejewski's pulling away. It's Tyler oh, contact! Good save by Ramsey so far. Great save by the 9. Thornton, Shane Matthews going backwards, unfortunately, probably wondering what's going on with his car as we're 3 wide down the front. Maciejewski in the bluey car. Runs that bluey car because of his daughter's a big fan of the TV show, much like my daughter. You see Brian Sutphin now and Thornton, those guys there, as Lucas Simonson's come to pit road for an unscheduled pit stop. Do I dare want to ask what happened to him? Been told that Jason Stewart has retired from the race and has already been sent by the other racers to the Ruth Chris Steakhouse restaurant downtown Indy to save a seat for the crew, as they'll all be meeting there after the race for cocktails. Shrimp cocktails. As Strayer inside a lot of sore for position. This is for 9th. The Dean machine there behind him. Peyton Johnson also. A lot of good passing going on here. Oh, Dean into the wall hard. That's not how you do it, Dean. It's going to allow Gagnon to pass. Going to bring Maciejewski into the battle. Up front, Miles leading by about 3/10 over Diego, who's got about a half second on Alphin, half second back to Dalton. And then about 2-second gap back as we're 11 laps in here. Should be a two-stop two-stop strategy. But of course, cautions and everything playing a role. Tyler Brewer losing positions. I see heavy damage on that 40 car already. And Pro Sim West car falling back a few spots. The 94 going by. Also, Ben Pierce, who's made his return recently to the series. As they come up on Cedric Ingram. And what is the battle for the 19th position here? So Pierce goes by him now and completes that pass. 14 laps in the book, side of the 85. Appreciate the viewers watching here tonight. Pretty good number for a Friday night race. Appreciate those who are joining us on the Captain Esports Network. Make sure you hit that follow button if you can. As we watch Peyton Johnson trying to hold off the Maciejewski car. Check up here on Miles. You see Signs doing a great job, having a great run here in his 44 car. Diego, of course, does have a win in the series, but not in this season. And he's right there on that border looking to get himself into the playoffs. You see him running a little bit of a different line, trying to get some clean air on that car. So those Alfin there doing the same, and then Miles trying to break the draft just a little bit. I don't know, should we, when we do the snake on the front straightaway and it's Miles in a Ric Flair car, would that be more strutting and style and profiling instead of breaking the draft? I don't know how we should call that. For those who don't know what Ric Flair does, go back and watch Ric Flair back in the 80s and 90s. You'll see it. And you'll get all the terms I use of his. Maciejewski been one of the cars on the moves here in the Bluey ride. Be a little fuel save going here. You're going to poke out late. Let's see. Yep, inside of the 15, gets the run in there. That's a tough pass to make. Johnson's going to fight him on the outside. He should be able to slide down inside here and try to keep the loss as much at the least amount as possible coming off these corners. Yeah, I do appreciate you guys watching, especially with, I know I'm not 100%, but I told you guys I'd get this on, and I feel 90% better than I did Tuesday and Wednesday. As some of you guys, I stopped in your channels before you guys raced on Wednesday, and I was like, hey guys, and y'all were like, whoa. Look at Kermit. Could be a championship fight right here at the end of the season if Lucas can keep up his at least point total to get into the playoffs. Could easily see these two battling for a championship when it's over with. Fontaine with his win at Bristol, which of course came with a little controversy. And Cortman's just been consistent the whole entire season. See one car coming to pit road early here. That is Telder. We're in the 12th position here. I'm not sure if this is a scheduled pit stop or not. course, a couple things different here. That line is the IndyCar entrance to pit road, which means this is a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit on pit road. So a little bit faster. Right side tires going on, left side's going on now. Of course, that C4 car, pretty good energy drink if you've not had a chance to check them out. So forward tires and fuel for Telder at 14.8. So let's see what kind of strategy this does for the LOL team. The 20 green flag laps here so far. Stephen Miles and Diego Sainz been the two leaders as they continue to try to break the draft. And I think back here, where you're seeing 5th and 6th place running right now, these two are drafted. And I think they're literally working with each other, almost like a, what is it, the old word, a competition? They're literally drafting with each other to push their way up to the pack. Of course, a draft in this car is a pretty strong field. I mean, Gortman's easily close enough to make a move here, but all you gotta do is just follow him, and two cars in a straight line are faster than one. And you see they're catching the 2 car there. I was gonna say, Gortman's got a super run off of 3. I hate to say it, they might have lost time now with them fighting, as Fontaine, as some of us know, are tougher than passing a, can I go ahead and say it, a kidney stone? I almost lost the word. So Gortman goes by. You see Bryson back there trying to catch up with him. This pack is pretty spread out. Biggest mover in this race is this guy right here. The 39 at Tyler Pluff. Of course, you saw him plow the wall during qualifying. And here he is now taking the 14th position from the Dean machine and bringing Ben Pierce with him. It's the one time I've seen Alabama pass Texas in anything this year. Anyways. Dean, you owe me money for that one. And Dean going to come to pit road. Back there, it's Tyler Brewer also joining the 48 on pit road. Oh, Dean overshooting his pit stall, not going to help things. There you see Telder going by. And then you see the leaders right back there. This track, if you have a good enough pit stop without damage, you can get off pit road and stay on the lead lap. And then having the fresher tires, and you see the leaders going by, so Dean is going to go a lap down, actually. So Dean's just got to take it easy and try not to burn up those tires as he tries to come up through the pack, because it's very easy now to try to overcompensate for the tires or for the loss of a lap and burn up your tires trying to get past these leaders. But so far, a third of a distance almost in. We have not seen a yellow yet. Everybody's pretty spread out here for the most part. See Midkiff on pit road, so a lot of these pit stops kind of spread out right now throughout this field. Let's check out Devin Ramsey inside the 88. As now Fontaine is on pit road, so here comes some of the leaders early in this race. Four tires and fuel. Nicholas Fontaine pulling away. A lot of sore pulls away. You see on the track map over here where everybody's kind of lined up at. You see the 42, that is Telder there. The 77, Fontaine leaving pit road. Here's the leader, the 24 of Miles. That just shows you kind of in relative where everybody is after the pit stops and stuff. All right, now Jason Dalton, Lucas Strayer, Peyton Johnson, Gagnon, Ben Pierce all on pit road. So obviously doing the math here, everybody pitting around 27, 28. That tells me that this is a three-stop strategy to the finish of this race. Everybody off pit road, looks like no issues so far. As back here, Brandon Alphin coming to pit road. Ooh, Tyler Brewer back there playing with the outside wall again. As this masked man, somebody want to explain this one to me? Why so serious? It says on the back. Could be a joke there, I don't know, or something. All right, leaders coming in. Here comes Miles. Here comes Signs. Pretty hot. There you see AB coming in behind them. I was wondering. Thank you. The only Batman I ever really watched when I was younger was the TV show with the animated terms on it. Pow, splat, crunch. I never watched any of the movies. Pick on me all you want to. I don't care. Come at me. Catch me outside. How about that? So the leader after all this, Lucas Gortman. Here comes Kermit to pit road. Good entrance there. Especially when you get those extra 5 or 6 stalls now before you have to get down to the speed limit. You kind of can go a little deeper into this pit road. Uh-oh, Dean is towed back to pit road. He must have had some issues off track. We'll check on that here in a second. All right, let's go back to Dean here and see why he towed real quick. No, I don't know why he towed. He must have just gave up. Hey, he pretty much said I'm done. Alrighty then. Left side tires going on. He pulls away, so good stop for Gortman there. And hands the lead to Bluey. So only in GLSR do we have a series with a Kermit the Frog and a Bluey in it. I can go get Charles Van Schaik from another league. You'll get SpongeBob SquarePants in this league. So 4 tires and fuel for Maciejewski, and he will drive away. As Dalton Carter brings the 3 car in. One of the more interesting pits, paint schemes I've seen so far. I'm sure there's something to that design that I have no clue about, and I'm sure somebody will correct me in about 3 minutes. As that hands the lead over to Brian Sutphin. And he comes to pit road now, lap 31. So some of these guys going pretty long on fuel, which is impressive. And then Sean Peachin also on pit road 17-8 as he pulls away. So with the cycle pit stop, this is now your battle for the lead right here. As Fontaine and Brandon Alphin and the 2 of Jason Dalton, 1, 2, 3, and then Stephen Miles, 2.5 seconds back. And look at this block by Fontaine. Alphin said, I'll take it. I'll take it the outside then. So Brandon Alphin, the Joker, to the lead. All right, so we finished up the first round of pit stops here. I'm going to grab some water. I'm going to let you guys turn it up here for a second, and I'll be right back. All right, back we are. Appreciate those hanging out as we get you through round number 8 of the GLSR Downrange Transport Premier Series in the Brickyard 200, presented by PRG Gear here on the Captain Esports Network. As Brandon Alphin leads Jason Dalton after green flag pit stops. You saw during the little turn it up segment, Stephen Miles making the pass on Fontaine, bringing Diego Sainz with him to move to 3rd and 4th. And here, the battle for the 11th position. Ladisor, Peyton Johnson, and Maciejewski. Ooh, Peyton and him leaning on each other. And they're both going to go by Ladisor for position. Let's jump up here to 2nd. As Dalton under attack. Miles looking low and Miles making the move. Up to 2nd, you saw Jacob Clayton move down to the apron there to let the leaders go by. Appreciate that. Sure, the drivers did also. So one thing we should note is that there's a halfway bonus that it comes out at halfway, and this was a scheduled 80-lap race. So you do the math, 80 divided by 2 is 40, so we're 2 laps away, coming to 1 lap away from a playoff bonus point going to the leader of the race. So let's see if it's going to be Brandon Alphin or will it be Stephen Miles. Can Miles get to the 21? Is back here, Diego Sainz making the pass on the 2 for 3rd. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Best move I made was going to the doctors and figure out what the hell is going on. Got on the right meds and have felt better ever since I took that day off yesterday. I mean, the voice is getting there. I can hear it. Soon I'll be able to remember what it's like to sound normal again. So Brandon Alphin going to be able to hold off Stephen Miles here, so there will be the bonus point right here for Brandon Alphin leading the halfway point of this Brickyard 200 presented by PRG Gear. Well, that's not the normal about me. Let's start with that, but yeah. Of course, next week we go from this legendary 2.5 mile track to a legendary old school 1 mile oval of the Rock. The old track known as North Carolina Motor Speedway, now Rockingham Speedway, in the Sand Hills of North Carolina. And shall we throw a little curveball at this element? For those who are in iRacing should know this answer. Ladies and gentlemen, what comes out Tuesday? as Gortman tries to get around Fontaine. That would be the new update. That is the new update. Sorry, I have to golf sometimes. The new update of iRacing. And one of the big updates coming into this season is the new oval update. Rockingham is one of the tracks that in real life you could run from the bottom to the wall. And prior to this update, the Rock was at a point where you could run from the bottom to the wall. So we upgrade this dynamic to it now, and I'm interested to see what this race is going to bring out Wednesday on the Captain Esports Network. Yep, rain delayed till March. Or as a lot of us like to think, they're just going to surprise us in the middle of 24-hour Daytona and throw rain on us. Happens all. Why not have that surprise in the race? Let's check on Telder back here. He was the first one to come to pit road back at lap number 18. And Telder, unfortunately, has gone free-falling through the field with the older tires. I mean, he's gained track position when it's over with. But he's going to be back on pit road, I would say, here in the next 5 laps or so as he and Gagnon battle out here. .43 laps clean and green so far. As you see lap traffic starting to come into play here with Thornton in the 11 car, the 29 at Midkiff. And those guys will get by easily there as Miles puts the pressure on his teammate there. Check back here, AB. Haven't really talked about him much today in this 38 car as he puts pressure on Fontaine for 6. As Bryson goes to the inside. Both of them drove it very deep into the corner there as Bryson made the pass. I was listening to some chat during the race here. Just listen to what people are saying here. So Miles and Alphen just kind of hanging on to each other here, just tagging along, running laps. We got about 1.7 seconds back to Diego Sainz here, 3rd position. We go back another 2.5 seconds to Jason Dalton in the 4th position. And Lucas Gortman, Mr. Consistency, if you will, running in the 5th spot. In the battle you just saw here, Bryson and Fontaine at 6th and 7th. And Bluey here in the 8th position right now, down the back straightaway. He is 9.5 seconds back from the lead at the moment. A name that we have not said most of the day, Lucas Strayer. His photo down here is from Indianapolis, all 6 foot, like 6 of him, next to Simon Pagano. Peyton Johnson, 10th position here. Joey Ladisor running 11th right now. In that 23rd or 23 car, he is 18 seconds back. One of the first-time winners here this season. Tyler Pluff in the 12th spot. Biggest mover in this race, up 15 positions now from where he started. So Tyler's done a great job in trying to gain as many points as he can to getting into the playoffs there. As you see Josh Canyon on his tail. Josh got a pretty good run down the back straightaway in that PRG Mustang. And makes the pass on Tyler. It's the first time I've seen somebody pass Tyler all day. Akira Telder, who's struggling with the older tires, and plus he's used the B word a couple times, and I'm not talking about a cuss word. I'm talking about one that rhymes with Ford. Ben Pierce, 16th position behind, didn't mean that disrespectfully, Brian Sutphin, who makes the pass for 14th here. Now back to Ben. 16th position here. 23 seconds back now has been, so about 3/4 of the track away, I should say. Here's Devin Ramsey, the 17th place car. Tanyan Sutphin, who I learned later this afternoon, or on Wednesday, I should say. I went in there chat and said hi. First time I've ever heard Tanyan Sutphin talk. And I know Tanyan is related to Brian, as in that's his son. Did I know that his son was all of 20-something years old and an actual adult? Fooled the hell out of me. I thought he was a kid. No offense. At your top 18, let's jump to this. Pit stops, the 77 in. Four tires and fuel, and Fontaine pulls away. All right, so it gives me an opportunity to finish real quick where I was. Cedric Ingram, now up to 17th with the pit stops there. Shane Matthews, unfortunately, lost 8 spots from his starting position and runs 18th. Tyler Brewer, 20th position now, right here behind Fontaine. Jacob Thornton, 21st. Sean Peachin, 23rd. Unfortunately, having a rough effort, but doing the best he can with what is handed to him. Richard Midkiff in the 24th position. Dalton Carter, 25th, and the rest of the cars off the track. Jacob Clayton, Christopher Dean, Lucas Simonson, Jason Stewart. Cam Ingram, I think, got lost in, I think he accidentally went to Lucas Oil Raceway. As Telder comes to pit road. Or whatever it's called now, Indianapolis Raceway Park at Lucas Oil something. Now, what Telder and Fontaine are doing strategy-wise, nothing wrong with it. It just, unfortunately, you put yourself in a spot where once these other cars come to pit road, you're now at a disadvantage. And just have to accept the fact that you're going to lose positions. But it's worth it, especially if you can get out here, stay on the lead lap, and keep the track position. as Brandon Alphen is pulled away from Stephen Miles here, 1.6 seconds. Just kind of shocked me because Miles is kind of proven to be the fastest car, it seemed like, throughout this race, but now that Alphen's gotten that clean air, been able to drive away. We watch Jason Dalton here as he tries to... Actually, no, let's jump to Stephen Miles, who comes to pit road here. Pizza. More tires and fuel for the 24. So let's see if that lures anybody else from the front. It sure does. Here comes Alphen now. And Gortman's going to turn left. So is Dalton, so is Bryson. So everybody but Diego Sainz staying out here. Four tires and fuel. Everybody pulls away. And now Diego going to come to pit road. Going to bring, looks like Brewer and Thornton with him. Four tires and fuel for the pole sitter. As we see Strayer on pit road back here. Gagnon, Johnson, Cedric Ingram. Peachin on pit road. Well, let's see where everybody blends out here as we get through these green flag pit stops by Chieski on pit road. I look over on the map, and it looks like the leaders are right up here into turn one. So Miles looks like he's going to be the leader as he pulls the undercut on his teammate there. And you see the top three right there into turn two now as Maciejewski pulls away. Tyler Pluff now leading here. One of the last cars to come to pit road before it cycles back around. And Tyler can hang a left and come to pit road now. So that'll cycle everybody back around. And Stephen Miles will inherit the lead. Yeah, it looks like it'd be by about 0.6 of a second over Brandon Alphin. Now, of course, Miles looking to make some history here tonight. Of course, he was last season's winner at this race. Looking to go back-to-back there and also become the first two-time winner this season. Of course, Brandon Alphin also has been to victory lane this season, so has Fontaine. So our top three drivers could repeat. And again, I talked about it during the pre-race. If we get a repeat winner, it opens up a wild card spot to another driver to get in on points. Often putting the pressure on Miles. Clean and green here for 59 straight laps to start this race. It's going to give me an opportunity. Let's pull up the points real quickly as we entered the race here tonight. You see the 7 winners that are all in the playoffs. For Lucas Gortman, the more repeat winners, the better he looks, especially if he continues to get top fives. Him and Alex Bryson looking to kind of stretch it out a little bit. The ones that obviously are affected most by new winners would be these 10th and 11th place cars with Sainz, Johnson, and Peachin. Of course, Dalton right here, Pluff, these guys would be affected big time too. But as you see, Dalton having a great run, Pluff's having a great run. Peachin, unfortunately, he's not. So he is probably going to fall big time here. At least 2 spots, I would say, in the points before the end of tonight. But obviously still plenty of racing here to go before it's all said and done. And one thing I've really learned is that when I'm not at a track live, wild things seem to happen. Alphin looking, is he going to make the move here? Is he just going to push it up? Miles does a little defensive move. So Gortman running 5th, Dalton running 6th, Bryson now 7th. Really trying to see anywhere that any kind of changes for position with the pit stops and stuff, but don't really see any big time changes. Just keep an eye on Telder because of where he obviously pitted at lap 50, which is about 5 to 6 laps before everybody else. So he's got a little bit older tires. And you see a lot of Sewer maybe going to try to go around him here. So move Joey up to the 11th position. Let's go back here. Tyler Pluff and and Pierce, these two have pretty much followed each other up through the field, and now they're going to battle for 15th. And as they try to draft, I think, their way up to the Sutphin car there. Josh Gagnon up ahead of them. And 23 laps to go here in this Brickyard 200 presented by PRG Gear. Of course, Wednesday night, we're back at you from the Rock. And we'll have 2 races left on the schedule in the regular season. Where have I heard this battle before? Gortman inside of Sam Fontaine, and caution is out. Caution is out. For the first time, and it involves Brian Sutphin. First caution. Yeah, I think we had teammates involved in this. Oh, Netco. Oh, no. Midgiff and Sutphin teammates. And a little bit of netcode, unfortunately. Ouch. This caution brought to you by Josh Gagnon's failed emoji activation. All right, so Miles and Alphin gonna have to rethink this now. "63 laps complete. Pace car comes up on the back of Miles. And you got to come back to pit road for tires, I would think, here. So, do you try anything here? I mean, it's been about 10 laps or so since you've been to pit road. Does anybody try 2 tires? Race on pit road, Miles, Gortman, Fontaine. Looks like Alphin signs Bryson, Dalton, and Maciejewski, maybe? Everybody 4 tires. Showing you all the pit stops there. Now, the good news about the Brickyard, it's a 2.5 mile track. So the cautions here are like that. You get only 3 laps and you're usually right back to green. So the only bad news about this is cautions usually breed cautions. And we're coming up on, what was 16 laps or 15 laps to go in the original distance of the race, which is 200 miles and 80 laps. But in case you haven't been spoiled by the lap total tonight, you might notice what's going to happen later. Am I allowed to say that? But it's kind of common sense when you see it. Miles just asked an interesting question in chat. He said, is there a restart zone? We go back to the fact that this is the IndyCar layout. So the IndyCar layout, remember, IndyCar does not have a restart zone. So, and you notice the pace car is going a lot faster. IndyCar speeds. So a lot of different little tricks here with this part of the track. So you wonder why these cars look like they're hauling tail down the backstretch right now under caution. Here we go, 20 laps to go. Pace car goes sliding on the pit road. We don't need a 1973 Indy 500 all over again. Green flag back out. Go look up the YouTube video for those who don't know what happened. You might cringe. Gortman going to try to take the second spot from Fontaine outside. Oh, and Alfin's in the wall. Joker might have scuffed up the right side of his face. Everybody jostling and jiving for position and whatever those words are I just came up with. Alex Bryson joining the battle with Diego Sainz. Remember earlier I talked about Telder and that caution he needed. That was it right there. And now he's up here in the battle in the 7th position. Miles is pulled away in this battle for second. As somehow Brandon Alfin. Ooh, Gortman kind of tagging the wall a little bit there after getting in the, or I'm sorry, it's for third. Fontaine cleared for second. Alfin up to third, even though he took a little right hand jab from the wall to the face a little bit ago. As they go drafting down the back straightaway here to battle now for 5th. Oh, 3 wide. Yo, Bluey gets knocked into the grass. Good save on his part. Looks like everybody works itself out there after Randy got knocked down to the grass. He wasn't too thrilled with that move, but racing hard here towards the finish of this race. Pierce inside of Gagnon. Two good friends here. Cap. Maciejewski, see falling back a little bit more. Now Tanyan Sutphin was inside. Gagnon clipping the wall a little bit. Little tough race in there. Whoa, whoa! I think they're hitting back there. Here comes Brandon. Like, y'all children, settle down, please. And apparently they don't like each other right now, from what I just heard in chat. So, anyways. Breaking news. They'll get over it. Signs and Towner battling here, fifth and sixth. Peyton Jones, Lucas Strayer. 2 seconds after a comment hits the wall. The 13 laps to go here as Miles is driven away. Halfway between here and Kentucky. Look at Tyler Pluff there in at 39, starting to get after Peyton Johnson. Pluff up to the top 10 here, 9th position. There's Strayer, there's Alex Bryson. Racing picking up here as we're 7 laps to go technically in the regular. Oh, Pluff almost got it underneath the 15 there, literally. Look up here is Kermit. Lucas Gortman looking to make the move. For the 3rd position, Fontaine trying to catch Miles, just not able to do so. Miles 10 laps away from going to victory lane for a second straight year here at the Brickyard, potentially. Oh, and around goes Telder. Tyler Pluff gets involved. And second caution comes out. I promise caution's out. Oh, that's why I'm on the wrong screen. There we go. So Miles going to bring him back to the pace car. Won't see much damage on the 44 there. We'll look at a replay here in a second. Actually, let's go ahead and go look at a replay here. So obviously Telder's been leading this line. Diego gets a pretty good run down the straightaway here. Telder goes to the bottom to defend. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, obviously, Telder's defending his position here. Goes down the block once. Moves high. Telder does almost a Pruitt fade, almost, what they call that. And that's more to set up his corner, but also at the same time to shut off the outside lane from the 44. And Diego, I think Diego expects Telder to go up, and he doesn't. And they make contact here. Pluff comes in there and hits him hard. As I see this more and more, I'm looking at this. I can't blame anybody. They're racing hard. I mean, you're coming to, what, 10 laps to go? I mean, could have been avoided, I guess, but they're racing hard. But that's, I mean, I'm expecting Diego, and I think I even heard him say it there after the wreck. I expect him to go higher. Because right there, Telder's about a half lane lower than, and that's only because he didn't go all the way up. It's a tough spot. They're both. Racing on a track at the Brickyard. In Telder's defense there, he gives up that position, he probably loses 4 or 5 spots. Diego's defense. Diego's running farther back than he usually is, so he's trying to get past Telder to try to get the track position. So he's trying to make the move he can, so tough spot. Diego hasn't lost his bumper yet, Josh. See, his bumper's still there, Josh. So the leaders will catch the pace car here, and let's see if we get pit stops here. This is going to get interesting now, strategy-wise. Anybody coming to pit road here so far? The answer is no. All the leaders staying out. Look out. What in the world? So Telder has come up and taken out signs. So that's a developing situation we'll have to keep an eye on after the race. So let's go back to that. So I don't know how long that was developing for, because obviously this is about the second or third lap. We jumped in here. I mean, and Telder's been through a lot these last couple of weeks, needless to say, and I think he finally had enough. Needless to say, his C4 blew. So we'll have to see what the admins and... Of course, I choked there in the middle of this. Admins and stuff, we'll see what happens after the race. This caution presented by, once again, Captain Fronto, losing at his emoji. Also presented by Devin Ramsey's failing emoji. All right, so we're getting one to go this time by. Now, in fairness to the 44, when your rear end gets knocked off like that, it usually adds a lot of rear downforce to your car. It makes you a hell of a lot faster. But not like that in iRacing. If you don't believe me, go back and watch the 97 All-Star race with the Jurassic Park car. It has the rear end taken off of it, and it goes to victory lane. Ever since then, this race, or ever since then, NASCAR has made it mandated that you have a rear bumper on your car. Sun coming out over here in 3 and 4 as we come to the green flag. 6 laps to go. Pace car driven by Jason Clark as we go green. Fontaine and Alphen get battle for second. Lucas Gortman trying to get in this battle with Dalton. Peyton Johnson also there. Oh, couple cars into the wall. Dalton got the wall. Saw one other get the wall there. Turn 3 can get tight. Oh, and around goes Dalton. I'm sorry, that's, oh, hold the brakes, my man. Ramsey goes around and cleans out Tyler Brewer. Gets hooked by somebody. Yeah, rule number 1, you get spun like that, hit the brakes and hold them. Caution out for the 3rd time. And we're going to go in overtime, it looks like. And poor Tyler Brewer, nowhere to go. And looks like Jacob Thornton's got a sick motor back there. Anybody want to know what it looked like when I was talking or trying to talk anytime this week? That was the smoke coming out from behind, or just, just bellowing out in my mouth. I mean, are these working on YouTube? I'm just curious, these faces you guys are doing. By the way, for the 5th time, we've learned that Ramsey has said to the other guys 5.5 lanes or whatever above them, because we didn't hear him the first 4 times. Oh, okay, because over here they're not working on mine. That's why I keep saying failed, failed, failed. So for those who did not know, Ramsey was a lane and a half to the low side of the 7, apparently. You want me to play you a song. So you want me to lose this whole entire broadcast because of a song. Is that what you want? My man will comment on that. All right, when to go this time by? So obviously this is an overtime finish, and I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it. This is going to be the only overtime finish because there's actually 3 laps to go in the race. So can Stephen Miles become the first repeat winner of this season? As a matter of fact, right now 1, 2, and 3 are all already winners on the season, which could make things interesting. Miles won at the Brickyard last year. Can he go 2 for 2 in this Premier Series? Here we go. Pace car pulls in. Miles takes off. Here we go. Gortman, good start on the inside lane. Couple cars clearing themselves at the bottom as the battle going to be for third. Peyton Johnson inside of Alphin. Ooh, Peyton pushing Alphin up the track into the wall. Strader's going to go by maybe. Here comes Dalton. And caution is back out. So I'll have to find the caution here in a second. Not sure what happened where. Might have been Jacob Thornton or something. I'm not sure. But Stephen Miles, either way, is going to go to victory lane here for the second time this season. Become the first repeat winner in GLSR this season. Which, by the way, is the second latest anyone has ever done it in a season. Behind, of course, the season 5 when Alex Cummings went to victory lane in race number 9. For the second time. And it'll also become, I believe it's the first repeat winner in this track's history in GLSR as he comes off turn 4. And he will see the checkered flag. And Stephen Miles has won the Brickyard 200 presented by PRG Gear. And I think I know where the caution came out at now, thanks to an apology amongst two good friends. Back her up here. It's going to be a minute here. Let me back her up all the way. Hello, Brickyard Crossing. And you're trying to follow a lot of sewer through as they come off turn 2. Again, a little bit of a defensive move there on Tanya, but Tanya got the run pretty well there. Pierce just gets clobbered. That right there, I don't know if I can blame that on anybody. Because here's what I see in this wreck. I see Pierce. Pierce is trying to get himself down lower. Josh is trying to get himself lower and trying to clear Sutphin, so he's actually mirror driving here. That's just two people over the same real estate. And what I mean, and I don't mean mirror driving as in blocking, I mean mirror driving as he's trying to get in without clipping Tanyan's left front or right front. But Ben, I would believe, has every right to be PO'd at this moment. But one thing, I will say one thing that could have prevented that, and this is so much easier said than done at this moment, and me being Monday morning quarterback out here, is knowing what's around you at that time. Knowing that Ben's up there and different things. So Peyton Johnson steals the top 3 from Alvin. Lucas Strayer ends up 5th. Dalton, Gortman, Maciejewski, Bryson, and Tyler Pluff somehow ends up 10th in this race. And everybody, oh geez, about wrecking to the pace car here. And then Gagnon gives a shot to Sutphin for some reason there. The hell is that about? All right, so we'll let Miles come back around the track. He's taking a checkered flag there as it shows that it's the way the replay rolls here, so. Miles wins it by 4/10 over Fontaine, Johnson, Alphen, Strayer, Dalton, Gortman, Maciejewski, Alex Bryson, Tyler Pluff, as mentioned, finishing 10th with Joey Ladiseur. Tanya Sutphin 12th, Josh Gagnon 13th, Cedric Ingram 14th, Shane Matthews 15th, Sean Peachin, Dalton Carter ends up 17th with Diego Sainz 18th. Pierce 19th, Thornton 20th, Ramsey 21st, Tyler Brewer 22nd, Brian Sutphin 23rd, Midkiff 24th, Clayton 25th, Dean 26th, Lucas Simonson, Jason Stewart, your 28 finishers, or racers, I should say, in the race. 29th was, or maybe, I don't know, it's got Stewart 29th over here, but anyways, Cam Ingram, I think, is over there running at Lucas Oil Raceway on accident or something, or maybe he's at the Speedrome, or Maybe even at the fairgrounds. Who knows? Or maybe checking out Indiana basketball somewhere too, because of course high school basketball on a Friday night, you never know. Sure, I can pull up plenty of videos of Ric Flair winning wrestling matches at the old RCA Dome. Of course, Bankers Life Fieldhouse, or whatever it's called now, in Indianapolis there. In the old, what's the basketball arena from back in the heyday? Market Square Arena. Miles burning it down. Let's. Give me a second here. So we'll get Miles in here with us, actually. As saw you watching the race there a little bit ago, man. Obviously, getting to reflect and watch your run to victory there. Obviously, it was a pretty tough battle with the strategies coming into play there at the end.
Yeah, man, it was pretty much a nail biter, man. A lot of strategy, a lot of things went into that great run. Me and my teammate Alvin and all of us did, man. It was one hell of a show.
So talk about being the first repeat winner of this season, taking 7 races and now being, I guess, technically the leader in the playoff bracket because of it.
Um, it's an honor, man. You know, it just goes to this league, how hard it is to win and how many people in this league that can win. You know, it's a dogfight, man. 7 races, 7 different winners. Alfin got his last week at the road course, and glad he did that. And we're trying to get AB one, and I just felt strong at this track, especially winning last season here. And Alfin was running second, and I felt what he felt. Cause we talk about racing so much. I ran him down there and got close to him, and that dirty air, man, gave me a real bad push. So I just had to ride it out and short pit him and get in front of them and basically just run our strategy in my head and play that lead. And I just say it's gonna be one tough schedule, man. Going into Rockingham, not knowing this update, and going to Michigan again, one of my strong tracks. I feel like we just need to build more momentum to try to get that championship this year.
I was going to mention how much of this, obviously, a lot of it's talent because obviously, you and Brandon, you guys, Fontaine, you guys up front, obviously running pretty well and showing the talent you got. But how much is it more track position than it is even the talent?
I say it's 25-30%, man, because you can have the track position, but you can also bring your tires up for the people behind you that don't have it, and they can pass you. It's just a teeter totter, man. You have to be balanced. You have to have a complete race. You have to have the track position, the car, the speed, and the patience. And it's very hard, man. I realize these wins I get, I be so nerve wracked because I know Alpha and Clean Out, he was better than me. And with me and Clean Out, I was better than him. And it was just us two against the whole field, we felt like. And it's just, it's hard, man. I don't want to tell too much of my, I don't want to say too much of all the stuff that I learned, all the racing I do, and what I found put in my formula of winning because I'm gonna use it. I mean, for the rest of the season, seasons to come. But 3 races, the last 2 seasons, 3 in the trucks, 3 in this car, and then I got 2 here. I'm gonna try to up it by 1, but I don't want to be the season champion. I want to be the champion at the end of the whole thing. I'm tired of hearing that title, so I'm just gonna keep it quiet for now and try to give them all in.
That's all you can do, man. Congratulations. Send some shout outs.
Shout out TI Racing, Laser Racing. Shout out to you, one of the best broadcasters out there, man. Even when you have sick, man, you still bring in a good show. Shout out to Treehouse, Free Telder, and shout out to the admins and everything that run this league. They do an awesome job at that also, and the fans that watch every Wednesday and keep us, in the seat, wanting to be fast and get that airtime and all that, man. We strive for that every Wednesday, and thank my teammates, AB and Alpha, man. Without them, I wouldn't know where we'd be, man. Them the best teammates anybody could have. So thank that, and thank God and thank my girlfriend. I can't forget those two.
Don't do that. Absolutely, my man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and go enjoy.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Stephen Miles, the winner, of course, in this race. It's his second win at the track, second win of the season. And, yeah, that's going to make things very interesting when it comes to the schedule. Now, what I'm going to do here is kind of off kilter, but it's something that I'm allowed to do, is I'm going to pull up my regular screen here and let you see the points as we go to next week. So you see Stephen Miles, 2 wins up here at the top now of the leaderboard. Fontaine, Alfin, Ingram, Ladasur, Maciejewski, Sutphin. And you see now, remember, 3 wildcard spots are open now because of the repeat winner of Stephen Miles. So we go down to the bubble spot. 12th place, Diego Sainz now is the bubble person. However, you go up here to Lucas Gortman. He's got a pretty good lead now as he leads over Peyton Johnson, Alex Bryson, these guys. So Gortman, Bryson, and Johnson right now are looking pretty solid. If any of these other winners continue to multiply their wins up, that's going to favor people like Jason Dalton, Diego Sainz, and others. But for Dalton, for Sainz, for Peachin, Pluff, Strayer, these guys here, they got to find their way up here. Get up here in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, or 8th, 9th, and 10th positions right now, because those are 3 wild card spots right now that'll score on points. But the more different winners we have, that number grows to 8, to 9, to 10, which 10 won't get to now. 9 is the most we can have now. So that means we will have the 3 wild card drivers at least going into the season. So 2 more races left, the Rock and Michigan coming up. And as a matter of fact, we could say if Gortman finishes probably top 5 next week, we'll have to look at the numbers officially, he could lock himself into the playoffs on points come next week. So that could be interesting for him. All right, we're going to head out. I'm going to go rest my voice some more so I can get ready for Monday's broadcast that I have for another league, and then Wednesday back here at The Rock. Appreciate everybody, the get well wishes. Finally found the medicine to get me going here. And appreciate the drivers and everybody being patient. Sean Peachin, everybody part of the league for being patient, letting me get better before I can get on here and do this and yap a little bit. And obviously we'll talk about what happened during this race before the Rock race and go from there. So everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend. And remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya.